You just wait till you hear this.
Okay, I'm ready and waiting. What is it?
The Santa Monica Observer is reporting that 60 Oregon fire trucks sent to assist the California firefighting is lacking smog certification. The fire trucks are being held in Sacramento for emissions testing.
You know what? That is unbelievable. I cannot believe that they would hold and detain fire trucks that are needed on the front fire lines.
You seriously can't make this stuff up.
But you can, and somebody obviously did, because this is on CAL FIRE's official Instagram page. No vehicles from out of state have been turned around or refused service at Davis Mobile Equipment. And all out of state vehicles have been serviced and are heading to or have arrived in Southern California. No emissions or smog testing was performed, and all repairs were completed the same day, with the exception of a couple because of parts, but the turnaround was early next day. Okay, so let's dig into this a little bit further. So here's the Santa Monica Observer, and here's the headline that the original poster was reading. Sacramento balls up 60 Oregon fire trucks sent to assist California firefight, lacking smog certificates. Now, with this information coming from a legitimate news source and with an actual headline, I can see why people would believe this malarkey. Now, as I checked the article here about 20-30 minutes ago, there's an editor's note saying the original story was based on a tweet that has since been deleted. So at least they printed a retraction saying that they had to take it down because they were asked to, because you can't have misinformation online, and this is an obvious case of misinformation. But still, they should have double-checked their sources before posting this article, especially when you're basing it off tweets that are running off of third-hand or fourth-hand information, especially when it opens up with, well, I just heard from my brother, or I heard from a friend of mine, or I know a guy, or I know a person that's in the area. No. That's not journalistic integrity. That's just not doing your freaking job and just scoping Twitter or X for information that you can turn into a news headline. But hey, at least Parker tweeted out a retraction saying that what he said was irresponsible and wrong of him to post. It didn't come from any official sources, and that he's apologizing. But anyway, moving on to what are they actually doing there? Well, let's look at a quick little clip.
We inspect all the vehicles, make sure that they're repaired. Anything that's broken, we do fix here on the spot.
So listen, fire trucks and the other responding units are very heavy apparatus. These trucks are equipped with all sorts of equipment, and they're typically not designed to travel hundreds and hundreds of miles. They're usually designed to operate within a select area, maybe traveling 30 to 50 miles if you're in a rural community. But if you're located in a city, it's basically servicing that city, that town, etc. Now, when we have these units that are traveling well over 500 miles from Oregon down to California, you want to make sure that everything is adequately working. Nothing's, been knocked out of place, especially if you're going to be sending these units into a severely hazardous environment. It's not like a structure fire where, hey, the truck's parked far enough back, they're fighting the fire. You're literally going into a zone where everything is on fire. And if that truck has a breakdown, guess what? $1 million apparatus is now getting burnt over because it was broke down in that hazardous location. Now, the other component of this that people typically don't like to talk about is the money aspect. Now, all these apparatus, all these fire trucks that are responding down there will be billing for their service. They're not just going down there for free because they need to recoup the cost of operation and all that stuff. And rightfully so. The equipment is needed there. They're going to supply the equipment. They're going to attack that fire. They'll get paid up eventually. The one key component as well as having stuff checked in and checked out is if there's any repairs or breakdowns that happen. So we want to make sure that those fire trucks are good to go when they get in. And if there's anything wrong with them on the way out, guess what? That gets billed to this incident. So that way the responding departments aren't responsible for fixing something that got broke while responding to another incident. And also another component of this, and I don't know if it's happened on this incident at all, but it's to make sure that they're getting what they're paying for. So now, if they've requested an engine with X amount of water and X amount of pump capacity, that they're not getting something that's rated considerably lower, but they're getting billed for the higher rate, or you've got a shoddy piece of equipment that just shouldn't be out there in the first place, they can turn that away because you don't want to have an old piece of crap on a critical incident such as this. Then this would also be used by logistics to verify that all the units that they've requested have indeed arrived and that they're ready for deployment. So they've arrived on scene, they've been checked out, the units are clear, they'll go to a staging area, and as soon as they're needed on the fire line, boom, they know the resources are there, they can send them out and they can get to work. But if you just have people showing up and just starting to set up and spray water, it becomes absolute pandemonium, especially on an incident of this size and scale. Because listen, I get it. California is very stringent on their environmental regulations. However, There are emergency incidents that supersede things like this, or they just say, hey, we're waiving this for now. It's the same thing with using the water bombers that are scooping the water out of the ocean and dropping it on the fire. That salt water is going to have some sort of impact on the soil. That's why they don't just use it to water gardens and water lawns. But in an emergency situation, guess what? Well, we're going to use what we have to make it work. But anyway, that's debunking that piece of misinformation. I'll be probably working on a whole bunch of others here over the next little while. But the big thing I want to stress with this post here is double check your sources, making sure you're getting the proper information from the proper sources. And I would say not only double check, but triple check. If you see it from one social media post, make sure you verify it with a news article, or 2 news articles, or 3, making sure that you're seeing a consistent story across the different medias, because everybody at this time is rushing to get the story out as quickly as possible for more views, likes, ad revenue, blah, 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 blah. Making sure that there's a consistent approach, or go to the official sources, go to the city of LA, California, the state of California. Their official sources will have more accurate information, such as Cal Fire, official source for the California wildfire aspect of things. So anyway, if you like this video, give it a like, share it out to some people you feel are falling into the misinformation rabbit hole. If you want more videos that'll be debunking some misinformation, or just information in general on some of these large scale incidents from the wildfire or firefighting side of things, follow on for more. Stay safe out there, people, and have a good one.